Hi everyone, let's do this question. A storeroom had 3,200 oranges before any apples were stored in there. Later, apples also started to be stored in the storeroom. From the time the first apple was stored, 9 times as many apples were stored in the storeroom as oranges, and a total of 40,000 apples and oranges were stored. How many apples were stored? Alright, so this is a question which I have created on my own based on questions which are available in the GMAT Advanced Quant book. Now pause the video, give it a try, and then let's try to solve this question together. Alright, we are back. I hope you have given it a try. Now, if you have not subscribed to this channel, do remember to subscribe and hit the bell icon and comment below I subscribed, and I will personally reply to you. Now, let's get started with this question. Now, over here, it's given that the storeroom had 3,200 oranges before any apple was stored, and finally, after apples were stored, the total number of oranges and apples was 40,000, right? So again, what's happening over here? So there's a storeroom. Initially, for some time, only oranges were stored. So let's say we just visualize the time span over here. Let's say for this time, only oranges were stored, and that's 3,200 oranges. And then for some more time, maybe more oranges and apples were stored. All right. And at this point, there were a total of 40,000 apples and oranges. Now, it's also given in the question that from the time the first apple was stored, which is this time onwards, right? 9 times as many apples were stored in the storeroom as oranges. So if you take only this time period, for every orange that was stored, 9 apples were stored in the same storeroom. Now, what is the question that we need to find? We need to find how many apples were stored in this storeroom. So that's the question, right? Now, if we want to find out how many apples and oranges were stored during this time frame, which is after the initial 3,200 oranges were stored, so that would be straightforward 40,000 minus 3,200, right? Which is equal to 36,800. So we know that in this time frame, a total of 36,800 oranges and apples were stored. And we know that these 36,800 fruits will be 1:9 ratio, where 1 is for orange and 9 is for apples. So basically, you just need to divide 36,800 in the ratio 1:9, and by doing so, you can find how many of these are oranges and how many of these are apples. So that's pretty straightforward. Now, if you want to do this, let's quickly just have a side note over here. If you want to divide this in 1:9 ratio, how do we do that? So let's just try to understand that quickly as a side note. So let's take oranges as X. Let's say there are X oranges in this. So in that case, because the ratio of oranges to apples is 1:9, the number of apples has to be 9x, right? And the sum of these, that is X plus 9x, has to be the total, which is 36,800. So X plus 9x gives you 10x. So 10x is equal to 36,800, and you get X is equal to 3,680. So X is 3,680. Now you just need to find the individual components. So for orange, we know that it's X itself. So we know oranges are 3680 and apples are 9x. So that would be 9 into 3680. So that's how you divide a given number in a ratio. Okay, so that was just a quick side note. Now let's say you already know this. So we just need to divide 36,800 in the ratio 1:9. So we know we have only 1 over here and the sum is 10, right? So this can easily be divided. So oranges is straightforward. It's just 1/10 of it, which is 3,680. And the number of apples will be this, which is the total minus how many you have as oranges. So you can either do 9 into 3680, or you can do 36800 minus 3680, right? Which will be the remaining amount of the total after we take out the oranges. That gives us the answer as 33,120, and that is answer option D. All the best in your preparation.